Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting with me, Carl the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. Before I start, I just want to remind you can also find Froch on Fighting on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from, as well as YouTube. So make sure you follow and subscribe. So Canelo Alvarez fought Edgar Banga last night in Las Vegas and he got the job done. Pretty comfortable. He dropped Balang in round 3, but he was dominant from round 1 right through to round 12. He was never really in much trouble. I mean, I don't want to say he didn't get out of second gear, but he only had to step it up a couple of times. Didn't really get hit with much. It was very comfortable. Like I say, he got the drop. He dropped Balang in round 3, but then didn't really jump on him and do much about it. Balang survived. But yeah, pretty comfortable, standard performance and win from Canelo Alvarez. So I'm sitting there last night watching Canelo Alvarez and thinking to myself, why is he so good? What does he do that's so great? I mean, 66 fights. I mean, he's been around for years and he's pretty dominant in most of his performances. Okay, he's lost to Dimitri Bivol more recently. He lost to the greatest, one of the greatest, come on, let's be honest, Floyd Money Mayweather early on in his career. And he's had a couple of draws as well, early doors. But this is a guy that's pretty much invincible. When he gets in the ring, nobody really thinks he's going to get beat. No one thinks he's going to lose, although he's had a tight decision against Triple G. A lot of people thought that could have gone either way. But anyway, I was thinking, why is he so good? Why has he been in the game for so long? And I wonder sometimes where he gets his motivation from. But he's obviously a proud Mexican. He's earning big buns. And he obviously, he just loves the sport. He loves to get in there and fight. He's so relaxed and so calm. But some fighters you'll say, oh, he's a big puncher, or he's a great boxer, or he can fight well on his front foot, or his defensive skills are brilliant. And some fighters are just good all-rounders. Now, Canelo Alvarez isn't just a good all-rounder. He's a brilliant all-rounder. He does everything really, really good. He can box on his back foot on the counter-punch. He can be aggressive and offensive on his front foot behind his jab. His defensive skills, his head movement, and his counter-punching ability is brilliant. It's second to none. He can take a punch. He's tough. He's got a granite chin, like myself. Cha-ching. But, cha-ching. See what I did there? Doubled it up with the old. But anyway, he is an all-round, awesome fighter. And it's difficult to go in with a game plan against somebody like Canelo Alvarez and think to yourself, right, what game plan beats Alvarez? Because he's so adaptable. He's just brilliant. So, what's next for Canelo Alvarez? I think there's 3 options. You've got the rematch with Dimitri Bivol, who he obviously lost to. You've got Terence Crawford last night tweeting, and I think he was on to Turkey Al Sheikh saying, listen, I want this fight. And you've also got Benavides, and a lot of people are saying that Canelo Alvarez is swerving Benavides. I wouldn't go too far as to say he's swerving him, because you've only got to look at who Canelo's fought throughout his career. He's fought everybody and he'll fight anybody. He just gets in there and he does it. He's fought the best of the best consistently. And he's not a kind of guy to swerve anybody. But you do have to think to yourself, why is he so dismissive of Benavides? Benavides obviously had that great win against Caleb Plant. He's unbeaten at super middleweight. He's prepared to step up to light heavyweight as well. And Canelo Alvarez, if he's to get that rematch with Dimitri Bivol, that's going to be up at light heavyweight. I don't want to dismiss Terence Crawford. Me personally, I don't think Terence Crawford's big enough. He's just not big enough or strong enough. He's a brilliant fighter, one of the pound-for-pound best of his era. Best of pretty much any era, actually. Look how good Terence Crawford is. But it's a weight-governed sport. So if I just put Terence Crawford to one side for the minute, concentrate on Bivol, that's a fight that he's already lost. He lost quite comfortably as well. I mean, Bivol put a great performance on and beat Canelo fair and square. I don't think Canelo wants to be jumping straight back in with Bivol, even though he probably would. I think it'd be nice for him to go back up to light heavyweight and fight Benavides. Benavides has already said quite clearly that he will fight him, or he'll step up. I think he's already stepped up to light heavyweight. So that'd be a great fight. That would shut up any critics that have got any kind of reservations about Canelo Alvarez not wanting to fight Benavides. Step up to 175. Beat Benavides, and I'm not saying he will because Benavides is a quality fighter, but you'd have to say Canelo's a favourite going into that. But once he's dealt with Benavides, if indeed he does, then concentrate on the rematch with Dimitri Bivol, because that's the big one, and that would right that wrong, that would correct that record. He's got that loss on his record, and surely, as the great Mexican, and let's be honest, he's the face of boxing. And why is he the face of boxing? Because he fights everybody and anybody. He's a massive name in Mexico. They absolutely love him. Look at his 66 fights, just keeps going, keeps doing and saying the right things, and he's loved. He's a massive name. But the rematch with Bivol, for me, after the Benavides fight, would really cement his legacy. And after that, if he achieves that, I don't think there's any reason for him to carry on boxing. He's had one hell of an unbelievable career. And if I'm Canelo, I'm keeping a close eye on the fight between Bivol and Artur Beterbiev in Saudi Arabia next month. That is an undisputed light heavyweight title fight. And Canelo Alvarez, I mean, if I'm him, I'm probably going out there and steering it up. I know he's had a little beef with Turkey, but I think he should be out there getting in the mix. Not that he needs to sell himself, because obviously anybody's going to want to see Canelo against the winner of these two. I mean, imagine Canelo against Beterbiev. What a fight that would be. But ideally, what he probably wants is he wants Bivol to beat Beterbiev and then beat the drum for that rematch. And that probably is the reason, or maybe one of the reasons, not that he's swerving Benavides, but it's a risk-reward fight. Why fight Benavides, who's risky, high risk, low reward, not a massive money fight? Obviously, Benavides has got his name in the game, but he's not a big name commercially worldwide. He's not a global name. So, I mean, Canelo Alvarez, I'm not saying he's swerving. Don't accuse me of saying he's swerving anybody, because he's not. He'll fight anybody. But why fight Benavides in a risky fight right before the potential undisputed light heavyweight rematch with Bivol, or in fact Beterbiev, if Beterbiev does the job? That's the fight really he wants to be focusing on. So just a quick word on Edgar Berlanga. It was in the fight. He went the distance with Canelo. I do feel that sometimes these fights come a little bit too soon, but they can't resist the old Bunsen burner. The payday's good for him, and he's got the experience now in with one of the best fighters in the world. So you can't really blame his team for chucking him in there. But some fighters, I feel, when they're in with Canelo Alvarez, they're a little bit like deer in the headlights. We've seen it over the years. I mean, Callum Smith turned up, and I feel like Callum Smith didn't really do himself proud and didn't go for it enough. Rocky Fielding, and bless him, he took that body shot. He was over. I thought John Ryder actually went in there and had a real good go, but he kind of got finished off, didn't he, and outclassed in the end. But these fighters, they're jumping in with the best of the world in the world, and I feel sometimes it's too soon. They need to take the time. But Edgar Berlanga's, what is he, 27 years old? He's now got 12 rounds in the bank and a bit of bunts in the bank from that big fight, so he can move on with his career. And he didn't get hurt, did he? He got dropped in round 3, a bit of a flash knockdown, but he heard the final bell, and he's now got bags of experience with one of the best fighters in the world. So we just wait and look forward to see what he does next. I've also got to mention on the undercard, Caleb Plant, my new mate, and Trevor Mccombe. I mean, bloody hell, Mccombe. Have you seen him? He's got a weird looking mullet. I don't want to give a mullet stick, because mullet's coming back in trend, whatever it is. The shaved sides and a bit of hair at the back. But he's also got this moustache. It's a little bit, I don't know if you've seen Deliverance with Burt Reynolds, a young Burt Reynolds. But anyway, some film that was if you've not seen it. But I just think to myself, I thought to myself, this was going to be a steady fight for Caleb Plant, but actually Mccombe came out, fast hands, counter-punching, bit of power on it. He put Caleb Plant down. I mean, it was a bit of a push shot. He landed a shot, then shoved him back, and the momentum that was against Plant put him down. He wasn't hurt, but he got clipped, and he was proper under fire from round 1. He ended up beating Mccombe with a TKO in round 9. But Caleb Plant absolutely knew he was in a fight, and it was just great to watch. It was entertaining, and I just want to say well done to Caleb Plant. Great win under some serious pressure, and now he wants to probably get that rematch with Canelo Alvarez. That's what he'll be looking at, but whether or not it will come or not remains to be seen. So moving away from last night, in other news, Deontay Wilder is going to continue to fight. I feel that Deontay Wilder should really seriously considered retiring, but his trainer Malik Scott has issued a statement. He's declared that Wilder will fight again and is not retiring from boxing yet. He'll be back. Deontay Wilder will fight again. He has a bright future in boxing. I mean, I'd really question that, especially at the high level. I mean, definitely questioning that, because he showed that his punch resistance is not what it was, but his punching power has now seems to be diminishing, and that was his big asset, that big knockout punch. As for the biggest fight, It could be against Francis Ngannou or Anthony Joshua. They are still mega fights. So I feel this is just money motivated, and the only reason for Deontay Wilder to be being told you can continue fighting and to get back in the ring is for the old Bunsen burner. And for me, that's sad, because Deontay Wilder could end up getting seriously damaged. Like I said a minute ago, his biggest asset was his punching power, and that big right hand put people to sleep, entertained us for so many years. But that's now gone, it's diminished. This guy needs to just bow out and just look after himself and think about his health and his future. He's had a fantastic career. He's made good money, but now it's almost like he's getting lured in by Saudi. To mention Ngannou and to mention Anthony Joshua, I mean, the Ngannou fight, really, I don't think Ngannou should be in a professional boxing ring again, in my opinion. But to be chucking the Anthony Joshua name in the mix is obviously after one thing, and that's the money, which for me is a shame. So if Deontay Wilder is determined to fight on, I think the fight for him would be Ngannou. Ngannou's a massive name because of the MMA background. He's obviously been in there with Tyson Fury, and he got knocked out bad against Anthony Joshua. But if Deontay Wilder's going to come back in, I don't think Ngannou belongs in the professional ring. So Deontay Wilder, I don't think would have too much trouble with it. It might end up being a good fight, but I'd expect Deontay Wilder to do the business. I'll tell you what as well, with Deontay Wilder, for me, he was past his best, and now his punch resistance ain't there and he can't punch. I bet the team AJ were probably kicking themselves, because that would have been a good win for AJ. Imagine Anthony Joshua would have been the guy to dethrone Deontay Wilder in style and knock him out. We'd all be looking at AJ now like, wow, he's knocked out Wilder. Maybe he seriously is back, because there's still question marks and there's still reservations about Anthony Joshua and what he's got left. In fact, I'll be doing my AJ Dubois preview next week, so I'll touch more on this. But sticking with Deontay Wilder, I think the fight for him, if he is going to continue boxing, would be the Francis Ngannou fight for sure. Because let's not forget, in his last 5 fights, he's got 4 losses. He's lost twice to Fury. He also got beat by Joseph Parker, and he had that bad knockout loss against Zhilei Zhang. So, like I said, I don't think he belongs in the professional ring. But against Francis Ngannou, if I'm looking after Deontay Wilder, for me, that's the fight. Right, that's it. It's a wrap. I've got to take my son golf. He's playing golf. He's teeing off in about 45 minutes, and he likes to go on the putting green just to get his eye in before he starts. But this has been a quick reaction video to Canelo Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga, and there's lots to come next week. So don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Next week, we're doing an extensive, the best preview show in the business. I don't mix my words. I'm going to give it to you straight, tell you how it is, and tell you what's going to happen in the Daniel Dubois Anthony Joshua fight. Then we're going to be doing a Froch along, so you can watch me listen to my amazing commentary as I watch the fight. And I'm going to be doing a post-fight reaction video to the AJ Dubois fight at Wembley Stadium in front of all them people. So don't miss it. See you next week.